I looked again, he was nodding his head. I ventured out quickly into the crisp morning air, taking sobering gulps into my lungs. And the man with the cup, who stood there when I came in, was standing.
Now I write all the time, especially because when you're sitting in this circle and everybody can share, nobody's left out, nobody's ever felt like they shouldn't be there. And the magic is, it's kind of so strong that like the best stuff I've written has just been sitting in the circle with a lot of noise, everybody, you know, talking and laughing.
I'd like to see a copy of that when you get a chance to pass it around.
The reason I keep coming back to Writing Workshop is because as an alumni, it's satisfying to know I can come back and I still have a connection to the public schools and to the teachers who helped me make it through in a good way.
The good part is that I've been able to write enough to submit to a magazine, to have things to read, to be able to share in front of a group of people, things that I only thought I could reserve for myself.
I felt a magic inside me, unlike any I've ever known. This magic within the theater sweeps me off of my feet and holds me near like the wings of an eagle. I am his child.
Ms. Johnson is basically the leader of all the leaders. I mean, she coordinates everything for us. She helps us with any problems that we have, any questions.
You were trying to end the play quickly, so you needed, oh, that was what?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, you know,
okay. And you let the women be the one to do something wild and crazy to stop it all, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, it all started back in 1985. I spent a month working with the Western Pennsylvania Writing Project Summer Institute for Teachers. And this experience was so positive, and I bought in completely to all of the tenets of the National Writing Project, that writing teachers should write, and that they should do everything that they ask their students to do. And particularly, writing teachers should share their writing with their students, and students should share their writing with each other. I know I've been granted a privileged look at the lightning of the heavens, dwarfing Earth's occasional puny thunderbolts. Many of the kids say that Writing Workshop gives them a reason to write. Knowing that every 2 weeks you're going to have your peers around you is a great motivator to write the things you were thinking of but maybe would have let slip by. And the support they get from their peers really keeps them writing.
We needed to decide whether we wanted to have it the same kind of... Like this? Like 24 and 25.
The Literary and Arts magazine, Beyond, had its origins in a simple desire to publish. One thing led to another, and we in fact did get a magazine out, and it was such a huge success, and it brought so many accolades to the students in the school that then it was just on its own.
So we have to decide. I mean, do we want to do a negative? Which page do we want to have it on?
Because that's, I think we should do a negative.
Really black. Do you
on
think
this side,
we should?
The negative over here would be very
black. Same drawing twice.
Be very, very, very dark. It looked like a big block.
Okay, well, I mean, I agree. We should have a negative because I don't think we should repeat the same picture twice. I think it's no. Since I'm the art director, I kind of have to lead the group all the time. And the group, I have to sit them down and we have to critique everything that we do. And I like to get each person's view on things so that I can see what the group as a whole feels. Like, you want a spread to be balanced out, right?
True.
But you're going to have a lot of white in this, and you're going to have a lot of black plus a lot of text on this page.
I don't think that would look good at all.
Yeah,
so you want to keep it like this?
Yes.
But if it's in the center, then it's going to look strange because...
It's taught me a lot about how to work with a group of people because I thought that something like this would be very smooth. It's very difficult to reach decisions, and it's really good to know how to talk to people, communicate with them, and not step on their toes and get what you want.
Hi, this is Courtney Bryant from Peabody. Yeah, I was calling to see if it was possible for you to send us a Xerox copy of the magazine. We're gonna...
I've always been more business-oriented rather than art-oriented, I guess. I don't want to downplay the art side of myself or of Beyond or anything, but you know, I'm one of the more business-oriented editor-in-chiefs. I think that since we began.
We have to edit the writing for content as well as space.
Space constraint.
Because we have
only so much space, and art has to fit, you know, oftentimes on the same page, which means certain lines can't be over a certain length.
Plus this year, our pages are only 8.5 by 8.5, and in past years they've been 8.5 by 11, so we've had a lot more room.
Are you thinking of putting an ending on that, Sarita?
Yes.
I thought that was an awfully good way to end it myself. I think that was a good way. So there's no one to pick up the pieces, and you've already left, you know, the pieces all through that poem. I don't know. I think it might have really ended pretty well right there. And a lot of the kids have told me that. We were the only adults that took them seriously when they were 16 and 17-year-olds and said, I want to be an actor, I want to be a writer, and that support is important to them. And then the printers take them seriously, and Janet, the volunteer, takes them seriously.
Okay, wait a minute, do we have everything?
Yeah.
All right, we got the artwork.
I'm the community volunteer, that's my official title. I got that title by Pamela coming to me one day and asking, she said, Janet, I've got this group of kids, they write wonderfully, we'd like to publish. And she said, do you have any free time? And I looked at her and laughed and I said, well, I've got a little bit, what do you want me to do? And she said, well, let's see if we can't raise some money so that we can have a professionally printed magazine because these kids really deserve it. And 6 years later, we are now at a level where I write usually a grant every year. That is part of the funding, that's not our total funding. The Pittsburgh Public Schools supports us with in-kind contributions, and we work with a printer who gives us a good price. We still need about $5,000 to $7,000 a year to run writing workshop the way it should be run.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
Well, are you ready to see the fruits
Yeah,
of your
I
hard
can't
work?
wait.
Are you?
Yeah.
Who gets it?
I do.
Put it in the
Courtney
middle.
definitely gets it. It's mine.
All right.
That was
That-
fun.
I like it.
Steph,
Oh, I'm
that's
so
the best.
happy that turned out.
Oh, I like that. I like
That
that.
was good.
I get such pleasure out
Yeah,
of
that does look
seeing the kids be able to express themselves in such a creative
I was
way.
really worried because I thought it was gonna.
One of the more interesting things about the Peabody High School Writing Workshop is our linkages to the community. Coming here to the seminary is one of our linkages. The seminary welcomed us with open arms 6 years ago. They love having us here. They feel real good about being able to link with the community, the schools across the street.
When we first started writing workshop, we imagined that the only performing would be among ourselves in our bi-weekly sessions, but very quickly we started wanting to perform for others. Our upcoming performance is going to be at Rosebud, which is a big deal for us because that's a coffee house in the Strip District, which is a hot part of town nowadays.
Whenever Beyond or Writing Workshop does anything important, like for instance our upcoming reading at Rosebud for the publication party, what we do is I'm in charge of like getting out a press release, which goes to like our advisory board, the press, like all the newspapers, radio stations, television stations, anybody who will for like free read over the air that we're reading, where we're reading, when we're reading, so that we get a little bit of publicity and people come and see us.
Okay, PNC Financial Corporation, you can abbreviate corporation.
Yeah.
Right, we're working on an invitation list, you know, for different social events that they have. And, you know, we'd like to get everything as perfect as possible now, so you just print them out whenever you need them.
Yeah.
But there's always, you know, we always find something, you know, that needs to be changed, so we're always working on this.
One of our alumni mentors, Naja Young, is back from college now, and she's rehearsing with them right now. Another one is coming as soon as he gets out of school.
Go ahead, Courtney. Okay, Pittsburgh goodbye. You put yourself on a plane today, flew off to your desert casino promised land. You leave me with my wounds healed and my head high. You leave me with my soul strong and my back straight. You leave me with the memory.
It is this embrace that lures me once again. It's almost indescribable, The warmth of the lights gives me energy and spirit, and whatever I sing and dance, alone or in a crowded theater, I feel renewed and free to fly again.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, there's some parts of it that feel a little bit rough.
Okay, if you're going to be on stage and performing this, how do you want the audience to react? What do you want them to feel after you're done? Because they're busy eating. I mean, your parents will be listening, of course. But how do you want them to feel? What kind of reaction should you get out of this?
I want them to feel a little bit of the magic that I feel when I do theater.
Beyond is a public expression of the talent found in our form of writers, and I'm sure that you'll enjoy the show, so just sit back and enjoy. We dedicate tonight's performance to our patrons, to the parents, friends, family, corporations, and foundations who have become both our moral and financial supporters. Without their enthusiasm for Beyond, we would not be here tonight. Writing Workshop and Beyond would not exist without two very important people, Janet Wilson and Pamela Johnson. Janet has been with us since our beginning in 1986. She helps to make contacts, she helps in fundraising, she makes Beyond known and professional, and for that we thank you, Janet, very, very much. Pam Johnson puts every extra ounce of her energy into sponsoring Writing Workshop and Beyond. Her love and dedication come through daily, and Miss J, thanks so much for everything.
Our first time meeting was on a hot summer's day. We were watching the kids in the playground play. We were smaller than two fires in rain, and we were growing like one great forest blaze. As we ventured into our Little League years, we both feared who else would be there. But with each year, one thing always remained. Whatever team I played for, he also would play. As we got older, football became the game, and every day we played, even on days when it rained. Which brings us to our hangout days, when his basement is where we used to stay. Always playing his newest Nintendo game, with no reason to think things could ever change.
His soft complexion, dominated by deep, sensitive hazel, dark, ruffled hair blowing easily, the crisp, hungry breeze of winter's eve. She reaches out, emotions lock, lashes entangled, dancing with watery flavor.
The ivory sheen of his eyes was covered by a web-like scattering of veins, formed by alcohol and too many sleepless nights. I saw a picture of him in his youth once. His eyes were not clouded nor muted, but wide expanses of mahogany irises that drew you toward him till consumed.
Despite my way with words, there were none I could use to tell. Despite her bluntness, she too was silent. The pain we shared, the pain I was absent from, spread out between us like the sea. So many years signified our natures, my passion to leave, her need to stay. My spark dwindles in her sunshine. Her sun is eclipsed by my rising moon.
I never thought, when we said goodbye that night, we were saying goodbye forever. There are so many things I want to say to you. You were always there for me when I needed you. I wish you were still here.
Everything kind of revolves on writing, and being in Writing Workshop has helped me to develop my writing, and so to develop like all the other things I do.
And I also know that students, whether they're black or white or male or female or young or old, everyone has something like this in them.
It allows them to do two things. One is to be able to take their school experiences and apply it to perhaps some portions of Writing Workshop. On the other hand, we know from our evaluations that they also take many skills that they learn through the Writing Workshop experience back into the classroom.
When you write something and you share it with a group like this, anything at all, it's just, this immense feeling of wonderfulness.
The important thing is that most of them can take away from their writing workshop experience confidence in themselves as people, confidence in themselves as writers, confidence in themselves as speakers, and confidence in themselves as leaders.
When the rails lift the steady train like women made to bear daughters, my head rushes past decisions as if they were station stops on the line. I read the time and distance like flowers pressed between the pages of a novel, preserved to solidify memory. The paper holds fragments of blossoms that have been there too long. The petals crack, thirsty and tired of the same words weighing on them, like the head of the stranger who has fallen asleep beside me, resting on my shoulder for the duration of the trip. I do not wake her, even though